Hello, welcome to the Waste of Web Space podcast, episode 73.
Starring
Jimbo
and Fisher.
And we've entitled this podcast, The Algorithm's Gonna Get Ya. Of course, which is in reference to the bit of a farce with all the A-level results and everything, and the algorithm that the government decided to use, which turned out not to be very good, and also is a Gloria Estefan song, isn't it? We reworked from Rhythm Is Gonna Get Ya. So shall I play the intro for us, Fisher?
Go on, play, Jimbo.
It's shite when you thought you'd done alright on your A-levels 'cause you're bright. No, the algorithm's gonna get you downgraded from an A down to a D 'cause your postcode is burn grieve. But you know, the algorithm's gonna get you. Algorithm's gonna get you. Algorithm's gonna get you. Algorithm's gonna get you. Algorithm's gonna get you tonight. Just worth pointing out that algorithm is not like the 45th American Vice President's CD collection or anything like that. It is obviously we're talking about the computer system that works things out, aren't we?
Yes, and not Bill Clinton's deputy. Just to point out, by the way, I couldn't really hear that sound coming through to me. The music on the background. I don't know if you can. Can you see it on your screen? Kind of.
Yeah, all working fine.
Okay.
Looks to be working okay.
As long as you can, as long as the sound's going to be fine for the people listening at home or watching, then that's fine with me. It's the fact that I can't hear it. It's not particularly relevant. I'll hear it when I listen to it back and watch it back later on. But yeah, obviously we've been talking. We're going to talk, no doubt, a bit about the A-level scandal. We're going to make some jokes, aren't we, Jimbo? Hang on. Are they still called A-levels? Aren't they called C-levels? Oh no, sorry, right. Back up to A-level again. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's been an outcry. Back up to A-levels again. They've done a U-turn. Oh, hang on. Sorry, no, it's a Z-turn. Oh no, U-turn. Oh no, it's an E-turn now. Oh, no one knows. All gets a bit confused.
What have you been up to, Fisher?
Not much actually. To be fair, I haven't been up to much. That's quite unusual.
Have you been helping out to eat out?
I've helped out to eat out on a few occasions. Yeah.
Or eating out to help out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many times we've made use of that. Probably 3 or 4 now, I think. How about yourself?
Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay. I went out last night.
It's sorry. You went out last night. Where did you go?
I went to a place called the Beaushore Trout. Very good it was indeed.
Right, okay. Whereabouts was that?
It's in a place called Hayde Edge.
Is that like West Yorkshire?
Yeah, it's out towards Holmfirth on the way there. Just past Crow Edge.
I only said that because that's the only direction we ever tend to travel in to find food.
Well, there's some nice places out there. It's not a massively populated area. It's quite quiet. So if you've got a place that's a bit removed from where people live, then it has to be quite good.
You're like a bird of prey. You've got like your hunting ground, haven't you?
Well, yes, that's a preferred place to go to, just because of due to that demographic, you know, because it's out a bit in the sticks. You've got to be really good, otherwise people won't go to it. If you have a place that's sort of stuck in the middle of where loads of people live, then you can get away with not being quite as good. Is my opinion.
True.
So yeah. So where have you been?
Nowhere in particular, really, at all. Just around and about. Yeah. But anyway, I've been trying to eat out and help out where I can. Okay,
well, we'll leave that conversation there then, shall we? You won't tell me where we went to.
Is it drinks time?
I think it can be, yeah.
I always forget what I've been up to talk about in this section, and then I remember halfway through the podcast and come out with something in the middle of the episode not relevant to what we're talking about. But anyway.
What I've not been up to is having my tea, because we were meant to start recording this episode about sort of probably at least an hour ago.
Yeah. Technical issues again.
Technical issues. But not for you, because you had your tea, didn't you? So...
Well, that's not that can't help that, can I? You know, I scoffed it down.
Yeah, what about me? I'm hungry now, aren't I?
You could have eaten before. You knew what time we were podcasting. And you've ate out to help out enough times. You should be full up now.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a podcast on an empty stomach and drink on an empty stomach as well.
You know, you do know you're not eating 50% less. You're getting 50% off.
Well, there's that. Is it a bit like when you were students? If we ever went on one of these nights where it was pound a pint night, you didn't save any money, you just drank twice as much.
Yeah,
Should we do the same with eating? Just eat double the amount?
Yeah.
Have you got your beer?
I've got my beer. What you got?
I've got some Lancaster Bomber.
Have you?
Presumably Lancashire beer, but I would refuse to drink this on the 1st of August, which was Yorkshire Day. It's not really saying much about it, really. It's from nowadays by Marston's PLC, based in Wolverhampton. It's, I think, a bit more of a bitter amber ale, so should be all right by itself.
I have got a Banyan.
Well, you should get yourself to the doctors.
No, I didn't say Bunyan. I said a Banyan.
Okay.
So it's from the Swanee Brewery, which is in Scotland, Orkney, and it is a hoppy session beer, 3.9%, so not too strong at all. So that's my beer of choice today. I was trying to find something maybe relevant to A levels or whatever, but it's got a few A's on it and a B.
Hang on, they might have been downgraded, Jimbo. Might have been downgraded.
Anyway, so should we get on with the rest of it?
Let's get moving.
And it's your turn to do show and tell.
It is, yes. It's my turn to do show and tell. Oh no, I'm looking forward to it. So you may notice that I'm wearing this shirt again that I wore in an episode a few weeks or months ago. And it says on it the Dubliners 09, and it's a Stag Do t-shirt, similar to the Stag Do t-shirt that you wore. Was it on the last episode? With your Stag
I think it was the last episode, yes, always.
Yeah, I thought I would also wear a Stag Do t-shirt from 2009, the Dubliners. You'll never guess to where we went to.
Belfast.
No, yeah, you're wrong. You see, you're wrong. Yeah, it wasn't Northern Ireland. Oh, it was Southern Ireland. We went to Dublin. Would you believe it? We went to Dublin on this particular Stag Do. So, my question is, whilst I was wearing this shirt on the Stag Do, what happened? Was it that I was wearing this shirt on the Stag Do and I appeared in a picture in the Mail on Sunday where an article had been written regarding tourism to Ireland during the global financial crisis of 2009? Or is it I was wearing this shirt on the one occasion that I met Alan Halsell, who played Tyrone in Coronation Street?
Okay. So you said you say it was... Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say he also got a mention in last week's podcast.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Last podcast record.
Okay, so first of all, then this beer is very nice, by the way. First of all, the first one. So you was pictured in the Daily Mail.
Hey, oi! Now then, Mail on Sunday. I think you'll find.
Oh, because I'm going to say if it was Daily Mail, it would have been, look at these stags enjoying themselves too much.
Immigrants over in Ireland.
Yeah. So, because obviously some people end up on those photographs when they, like, for example, if they go on holiday, and it's like the Brits Abroad type of articles that sometimes some of the tabloid newspapers do, and basically shame anyone who's there enjoying themselves. This actually happened to my brother once, strange enough.
Oh, right.
He ended up in a paper because he was at, I think it was like I don't think it was Cheltenham Festival, it was another horse racing, Aintree maybe, or something like that. And he ended up in a news article saying, "This man looks with a caption, 'This man looks a little bit worse for wear.'"
Was he?
And no, he wasn't. He looked absolutely fine, actually. They made it out like he was being carried, but he certainly wasn't. Maybe I can find that article.
Yeah. How can you look like you're being carried, but you're not?
Because he had his arm round somebody.
Right.
Just as lads do, being boys. You know what I mean? Like walking along, having a bit of a laugh, talking to each other sort of thing. Just an emotional moment maybe between the two. I don't know. Just
never happens when I go out.
I'll try and find the article. So the first one then, you were in the Mail on Sunday.
Mail on Sunday, yeah.
And you was in your Stag Do top.
Yeah. So it was 2009.
Whose Stag Do was it?
It was a former cricketing friend of mine, Andy West, who was our former captain. Colloquially called nickname. Guess what his nickname is?
Westy.
Westy is one of his nicknames. Another nickname is Fred. which is not too keen on,
no.
obviously. So, yeah, it was 2009.
And he opted to go west.
Yes, good point. Well done. Good point. Yeah, we went west to.
Are you saying well done because I know my directions?
Yeah, difference in east. I always have to pause and think about which way east is and which way west is. Right and left I can do, but east and west that's a bit more difficult.
I still have to go the old left and right.
Yeah, can't do them with E's and W's.
No.
Yeah, west. Sorry, and yeah.
Which is very similar.
Yeah. Rappers do that, where they do sort of east side and west side.
Yeah, true. I accidentally found myself doing east side and west side. Never mind.
Yeah. But anyway, it was 2009. Global financial crisis. In particular, Ireland's economy was quite heavily damaged by the some of the banking crisis, and it was even suggested, I think, at one point that Ireland may actually cease to use the euro. They might be the first country that kind of falls out of the eurozone. So the economy was seriously struggling, and someone was doing a report about people still going to Dublin and going on city breaks and that sort of stuff. Obviously, Dublin's not too far to get to, and basically just took a picture of people going on a city break in Dublin, and we just happened to be sat in the background of it. My parents, who read the Mail on Sunday, sort of contacted me and said, "Hey, look, there's a picture of you in the Mail on Sunday." Basically, was the crux of that.
So it's not the worst newspaper to be pictured in, is it?
No, that'd be the Daily Mail.
So have you got a picture of this article? Have you got a picture have you got any clippings of it or anything?
I haven't.
I mean, that would give it away, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Instead, all I've got is a picture of me and Tyrone from Coronation Street together.
Have you got, do you happen to have one of evidence of either of these without saying which one?
I do not have any evidence of either of these events happening.
So I could be saying that both of them are false.
You could do, but then that would... I wouldn't do that. Morally, I would not do that.
So what was Tyrone doing in Ireland?
He was posing for pictures for the Mail on Sunday, advertising city breaks. He was actually in Dublin Airport.
Okay.
I don't know who he had... I don't quite know what he'd been in Dublin for. I'm assuming for a long weekend, city break, similar to us. Albeit, obviously, we were on a stag do.
Did you go and say anything to him?
No, I didn't. A few people, I think, went for selfies, or like I said, hire Alan, or hire Tyrone, because obviously that's his more commonly known name. Must be frustrating, I think, if you're an actor.
Is he dead in Coronation Street?
If he is, I've got an alibi. I only met him once, so you can't try and fit me up for that one. I don't know. I've not watched Coronation Street for a long time, so I don't know.
Okay. So I want to find out if he's dead first of all. So this was 2009. So it would have been Tyrone from Coronation Street. So he would have been in it quite a lot of the time, wouldn't he? I'm
pretty convinced that he was in it, still in the Coronation Street at that point in time.
But he would have been pretty. It would have been.
It was pretty. It was very pretty.
No, I mean he was.
Our eyes met over Dublin Airport.
He would have been a regular, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. He's been in Coronation Street, I think, for a good, maybe even 20. If he's still in it, he probably started in Coronation Street in the late 90s, early 2000s.
All right, okay. And I think he's still in it. I think.
What does it give for his character start date?
He's present and he's a regular.
Okay. When did he start?
What's up?
When did he start?
He started in 1998.
All right, but that's late 90s, isn't it?
Yeah. So you were right, yeah.
So he's been in there for 22 years.
Yeah. Okay. So, did any of your members of your gang go and have a picture of Tyrone?
No, I mean, to be honest, 2009 was sort of a little bit before the kind of selfies time, really.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, selfies a bit more sort of last 10 years. It was just kind of... I don't think I had an iPhone back in those. I think I had a BlackBerry back in those days.
Mm.
Joy of joys. So we noticed him. We went and asked for his autograph.
Right.
No, we didn't. I think a few people went for pictures or what have you, but none from our particular group.
Yeah. Okay. So let me think then. Okay. Let me. I'm gonna go with the one that you saw Tyrone from Coronation Street, and I think the reason you've gone for that is that you remembered this as a result of mentioning in the episode last week, and then you thought, you know what, this is going to be a good one to mention next week for my show and tell.
It could be that, or it could be that I've got an obsession with Alan Halsell, who plays Tyrone in Coronation Street.
Is he in that cupboard behind you?
Come on, Tyrone, now. Do you want me to reveal the answer?
Yep.
It was whilst wearing this shirt that I met Tyrone from Coronation Street.
Oh. There we go.
There we go. Just let you know, I cannot hear these applause talking, though, so you'll have to start speaking.
Yes.
You'll have to give me a
Shall I just
signal
applaud for you? Yeah, well done. So that was good. That was good. So that's the famous T-shirt that was in the same vicinity as Tyrone from Coronation Street.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a podcast tonight actually saying that he's got the clothes he was wearing at the time and saying, I met that Fisher from the Waste of Web Space podcast in Dublin Airport. It was with his girlfriend, who was also in Coronation Street as well at one point.
Right, okay. Oh, well, but not the character who was his girlfriend in Coronation Street.
No, not. Was it Fizz who used to go out with?
I thought it was Molly. I thought it was Molly, or someone called Molly.
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Coronation Street expert. I know somebody, though, who writes a Coronation Street blog.
Oh, right, okay. Who's that?
He's called Ryan Oxley, but he's often on the set, and he writes a big Coronation Street blog that's followed quite well, and he does radio appearances and things like that, talking about it. Yeah. Super fan. So there you go. Big shout out to Ryan Oxley. Anyway, thanks for that, Fisher. Enjoyed that.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Okay, so Fisher, I've prepared a bit of a quiz for you because I don't know if you saw this, but I'm just going to try and get the information just to remind us of it. But did you see this week? There was a news story that Sainsbury's had to take a mug off their shelf off shelves because it was deemed too offensive. I don't know if you saw it.
What did the mug say on it?
It said it was something about ladies. 1 second. Sainsbury's mug.
I think I know what you might mean.
Mug. Okay, let's have a look. Sainsbury's. Oh no, they seem to have got a lot of mugs that they shouldn't be having on anyway. It was. Oh, here we go. So, domestic abuse campaigners urged Sainsbury's to ditch the Roald Dahl hit her mug. So I think it was some sort of phrase taken from a Roald Dahl thing, but it says, a brilliant idea, hit her, it says on it, on the cup. So that mug has been withdrawn from sales. So I thought, this is the kind of thing you see quite often, isn't it, Fisher? You know, like incidents where there've been things withdrawn from sale because they've deemed offensive or whatever.
Who decides that it was a good idea to put out a mug that said on it, "Here's a good idea, hit her"? Surely anyone with half a brain would look at that and think, yeah, we'll not put that out for sale because it's quite offensive.
Well, you see, you think that's bad, but there's some worse things than that, as you will find out now. So, this quiz then is basically products that have been removed from sale for controversial reasons, okay? So, just the typical old, is it A or B? So, number one, in the 1940s, businessman Alfred Gilbert, have you heard of him before?
Nope.
No. I think he was American. Was a celebrity for his popular range of educational toys. But what product caused a stir in 1951 and had to be removed off shelves? Was it A, a sexual organs toy jigsaw? Or B, an atomic energy lab?
An atomic energy lab? Well,
yes.
That presumably isn't that offensive, is it?
Well, it had chemicals in it.
Right, okay. I think sexual organs. It must be the sexual organs jigsaw, surely.
Are you going with that one, or?
I'm going to go with that one.
Nope. So it was the other one. It was the Atomic Energy Lab, which basically came with several types of uranium, which is one of the chemicals used to make nuclear bombs. It was dubbed the world's most expensive toy, and it sold 5,000 before it was actually pulled from shelves. So I'm guessing those 5,000 things that were sold would have probably gone on to make quite a lot of money, wouldn't they? Because obviously things that there aren't many of sell for a lot, don't they? Yeah. So there you go. First one wrong. Number 2 then. In 2002, Abercrombie and Fitch. Have you heard of them before?
Oh yeah, they make clothes, don't they? I tell you what, I wear loads of their stuff. A&F.
You don't, do you?
No. I know they are though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. I'm not one for brands really either. But anyway, launches a T-shirt. They launched a T-shirt in 2002, but it was pulled because of what? It featured a naked woman in heels, smoking with one of her heels pressed against the chest of what appeared to be an old man laying on the floor. Or B, it featured a cartoon of 2 stereotyped Chinese men with the words Wong Brothers Laundry Service with the slogan, 2 Wongs can make a white on it.
Okay. So the first one, what would that really be sort of denoting and signifying?
Well, I don't know. I might woman power or something, but I don't know. I think it was a naked woman. She had heels pressed against the chest of what were an old, frail man laid on the floor.
Well, I think some men like that sort of stuff, though, don't they? I mean, and will probably pay good money for it, for such a service. Apparently. And obviously the other option is basically very racist by saying that 2 Chinese people, 2 Wongs can make a white. I think... I don't know if the first one would... I think the first one would be quite quirky. And I don't think everyone would like it, but I think the second one certainly is offensive. I'm going to say it's the second one. And I'd rather hope you haven't made the second one up.
And you would be correct. I mean, the first one, I actually put to make, and I kind of wish I'd left it now, that I put that she had a heel on a small child laid on the floor. And I decided to change it because I didn't want to make something like that up. But maybe I should have stuck with it because it would have been made more believable. I don't know. Anyway, so that was your second one. You got that right. Well done. So that's 1 out of 2. Number 3, stationery brand Paper Chase. You ever been in there?
Yeah, I've been in Paper Chase.
I think it's quite a good shop.
Yeah, I think I once bought some cards from there.
They have some quite interesting things, quite like quirky gifts and things like that. And the cards are pretty good as well, you know, the birthday cards and stuff. So,
actually, specifically, I think I bought some envelopes from there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was you posting anything special?
Wedding invitations, so yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Fairly special.
So I probably received one of those.
Probably. Well, no, I didn't bother wrapping yours up. I was going to see you anyway, so I just handed it over before we did the podcast. Yes, I think you would have done. Have you still got the envelope?
Probably not.
All right, shame actually, because we could have taken it back to Paper Chase and tried to get a 50p refund on the basis that I didn't need it anymore. Never mind.
Anyway, so stationery brand Paper Chase faced criticism for which of these products they were selling in 2014, and they did end up withdrawing one of these products. So first of all, A, they sold a hand sanitizer called OCD Hand Wash that had the instructions: open cap, sanitize, close cap, make sure the cap is closed, recheck cap, are you sure it's closed? Which was then accused, obviously, by people of being a kind of mocking people with OCD disorder. Yep. Or is it B, and you're doing your hands now, just a reminder. Yep. Or is it B, a pencil sharpener that was basically a man wearing pink with his trousers down, and the entrance to where you would sharpen your pencil was his bottom.
All right.
Now, actually, think about the first one.
When does pencil shavings come out?
Exactly.
To his front, hopefully. Surely it'd be better to have it as his mouth, and he twisted the pencil, then the shavings came out of his arse would make more sense.
Well, I think it was kind of trying to portray something about this particular gentleman who was having a pencil shoved up his bum.
Right, okay. OCD hand spray, even that's fairly offensive, but I think that...
But actually, it would be quite good now if it was more reminding you to make sure you actually use it.
Yeah. So there's a place for it now. I'm not too sure. I think Paper Chase is a bit too much market for doing pencils shoved up people's bottoms. So I'm going to say it's the Ocd hand sanitizer.
Well done, correct. Congratulations. So yeah, that's correct. Number 4 then. So you've got 2 out of 3 now. Number 4. In 2019, Walmart had to remove a jumper from sale because of complaints. What was it about the jumper that was being complained about? Okay, so A, it said "Merry Christmas, Dickhead" on the front, and it had a hood on it that when you pull it up, it had a penis on it. Or B, it had a picture of Santa on it with lines of cocaine in front of him with the words "Let it snow."
Okay. Well, so the second one surely can't be that. Oh, sorry, the first one is surely too direct that it can't possibly be that. Can't have the. Sorry, what was it? Merry Christmas, Dickhead.
Yeah.
I don't believe. Is that Walmart in America or is it the UK Walmart?
I think it's actually Canada in particular.
Yeah. Because because some of the Asdas in the UK are actually called Walmart, I think, aren't they?
Are they? Oh, some say Asda Walmart on top of them. Some of the smaller ones, I think, don't they?
Yeah, I think some places in particular, if they'd never had an Asda before, Walmart took them over.
Oh,
you would just see it's called Walmart as opposed to Asda, particularly down south, I believe. But I don't think that they would have Merry Christmas, Dickhead in a Walmart. I think potentially that Santa let it snow, starting lines of cocaine. I think they might. I'm going to say that.
Congratulations, well done. That was very recently, actually. That was just before Christmas, that one. Last Christmas, so yeah. I thought you may have remembered that one, possibly, but is that the first time you've heard?
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard it, yeah.
Next then, number 5. What did Waitrose have to pull from their shelves in 2019? A set of 3 chocolate ducks. Social media, people on social media pointed out that the white chocolate duck had been labelled fluffy, while the milk and dark chocolate ducks had been labelled crispy and ugly. So people were saying that the product was actually racist. Yeah. B, a birthday party cake that had "You can't afford this cake" written onto the icing.
Well, that probably does sound a bit. Yeah, was it a t-shirt? Was it a t-shirt that said "Get out of here, you peasants"? Have you ever been to Waitrose?
I don't think I have. You know,
it's all right.
I've walked through the car park of one.
Yeah, is that the one that's near Sheffield United's ground? Up in top end of town. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Literally only a few times. It's all right though, but it's quite nice inside. It's kind of a place where you don't really need to pay a pound to get your trolley. People won't nick them.
Oh, right. I was going to say you have to put like a $5 in them or something.
Give them a check or put your debit card through. Could it be the cake? I don't know. That's a bit direct though, isn't it? It's certainly plausible that they might have ducks that are called fluffy and then slightly more offensive terms for the other called ones. But yeah, I'm gonna go for the chocolate ducks. One's called fluffy, and the other one's called ugly and crispy.
Well done again. Congratulations. Yep. So it was the ducks that got removed off sale. Well, they didn't remove them off sale. They just redid them, but without any labels on the names of the ducks. So they still had a white chocolate one, a milk chocolate one, and then one that was had kind of like chocolate chunks in it, which they called crispy or whatever it were. Next then, number 6. Toy company Hasbro has recently had to remove a Trolls doll from sale because of what? Have you watched Trolls before? Have you seen Trolls? You know what Trolls is?
I've seen the movie Trolls.
Yeah.
If that's anything to do with it.
Yeah, my daughter's watched it. She's a big fan. So that's what we're talking about, those kind of trolls. They had to remove one of the dolls off sale because either A, the troll's built-in voice is an Afro-Caribbean accent, but it's been recorded by a voice actor who is not Afro-Caribbean. Or B, one of the buttons on the troll to activate the voice is pressed by going underneath the troll's skirt and pressing the button, which is located on the troll's private parts, or where the troll's private parts would be. The sounds that then play are wee and oh.
Right, okay. Well, I think that there's a lot of criticism, isn't there, for portraying accents that you're kind of is not your ethnicity. So, for example, isn't there an issue with Lisa Simpson, who's played by, is it Harry Shearer who plays the voice of Lisa Simpson, or is it Hank Azaria?
Lisa?
Sorry, it plays Lisa Simpson. Sorry, not Lisa Simpson. They play Apu.
Yeah, I can say because Lisa Simpson's
But there was a thing where
female.
Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
So there's a thing where Lisa Simpson said that it was fine in one of the Simpsons episodes, and some people thought that actually getting Lisa Simpson to say it was fine was probably not really in character with Lisa Simpson, because she'd actually be supporting the opposite side, and yet the program producers were fine with just kind of like selling Lisa Simpson down the river a little bit. But yeah, so someone plays the voice of Apu.
I think they've actually dropped out, haven't they? They've actually stood down from that role, I think, haven't they?
Yes. I can't remember who it is who plays the voice. I think it's either Harry Shearer or Hank Azaria. I can't remember which of the two. Feel free to try and find out while I'm rambling, Jimbo. So I think there is a lot of pressure about playing voices that aren't kind of the same race as you. And obviously we'll try and gloss over the fact that I did that episode where I did sort of Chinese accents, Nigerian accents, and various other places. If you remember that one, Jimbo.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, was it? But could they have the switch on it that are in the private parts? You got to have, I think the switch would surely be on the character's back. So I'm going to say it's the first one. I'm going to say that they had someone doing the voice of an Afro-Caribbean voice who wasn't sort of from there as well.
So you are right about it being Hank Azaria. I can't remember how to say his name.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
But anyway, that's the one who did play Apu. But you've actually got the wrong answer.
It doesn't matter. I mean, ultimately, I've got the right answer to a question that you didn't ask, so that's fine with me. I'll take that as a point. Thank you very much.
It was it was the fact that this button, the troll actually had two buttons on it, one on its tummy and then one underneath where its private parts should be. And yeah, the sounds that came out of it when you press that button are also not great either, for the fact that you're pressing the button in that particular place. So yeah, got a lot of complaints from parents and so on, and it's been removed off sale. Next then. Do you? I'm not sure if there's got a picture of Hank Azaria on your phone. Then when you Googled him, do you recognise him at all? What character he might have played? It
might show you a picture of him in character from somewhere else, but
it looks familiar.
It was in Friends.
And who was he?
He played the character. Sorry, what was that, Jimbo?
I was going to say the bar person, but I don't think it is it?
No, it's Gunther. I can't. That was played by someone else. He played the part of David, who was Phoebe's boyfriend, who went to Minsk.
Ah, right.
You vaguely recognise him. Yeah, and he does a lot of the characters' voice on The Simpsons.
Oh, there we go. Interesting.
I think he does Chief Wiggum as well as Apu and various other ones.
Yeah. Okay. Next then, Primark had to remove a T-shirt from sale in 2017, but why? A, it was a Walking Dead T-shirt which featured bad guy character Negan's baseball bat, which has got barbed wire wrapped around it, with the words "eeny, meeny, miny, mo," which the original phrase has a racially offensive history attached to it. The rest of the "eeny, meeny, miny, mo" phrase, probably not the one that we did at school, but the one that where it came from. B, the T-shirt had a tick box list in it saying "shag, marry, avoid." But as well as being on sale in adult sizes, they were also selling the T-shirt in girl sizes up to the age of 14 to 15 years.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone who was a bit stupid and wasn't quite thinking about what they're doing, accidentally sold that to children. So I'm going to say they had the shag, marry, avoid, and they had it for kids.
Wrong. Yeah, I had to make that one up. But I thought, because somebody might forget that, they've got to stop doing... They can only make a T-shirt in a certain size, depending on what's on the front of the T-shirt. Yeah. But anyway, no, it was the Walking Dead one that they took off sale. And it was actually when I found this particular article about this, it was somebody in Sheffield who'd spotted it. It was I think it was a vicar or someone to do with the church in Sheffield who made comment about it. But there you go, because it was reported in the Sheffield Star, I think, and then went into some of the more national papers. But anyway, what did Zara have to remove from sale in 2014? A black and white stripy T-shirt with a sheriff star on it, which critics said resembled the Star of David and made the T-shirt look like a Jewish concentration camp uniform. Or B, a pink baggy casual jumper that said on it, "Girls do chores," on the front.
Oh, well, neither of them particularly good, are they? Girls do... would you be able to... Why would anyone think the girls do chores bit is appropriate at all? Don't know. But I
think it was supposed to be one of those tops that were like that you hang around in. You don't go out in it, but you kind of like homeware. When you're doing the chores, I suppose. Yeah.
Probably the apt time to wear it, but there's no need to actually sort of highlight that particular point on your T-shirt. I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be the second one.
And you would be incorrect again. So it was the first one. So it was the fact that it was a black and white stripy T-shirt, but it had a sheriff, and it is a sheriff badge that's on it, but because of the black and white stripiness of it as well, it kind of did look like a Star of sort of David thing, which obviously caused a lot of controversy. So, yeah, they took that off sale. Next then. This is the last one as well. In 1996, toy manufacturer Mattel had to pull a Cabbage Patch doll off sale because, A, the snack time model of this doll had metal rollers behind its teeth so that you could post plastic food into its mouth and it would keep chewing until the food was gone. The problem with this was that kids kept getting their fingers and hair trapped in it. Or B, the Cabbage Patch doll was a naughty boy version of the doll, and when pressed it would say, "This sucks" and "kiss my ass," which was deemed grossly inappropriate for its target age group.
Yeah, well, I think either are fairly plausible, because I'm sure there's been similar occasions where you've had sort of some rogue voice boxers in various things that's been appropriate. But I think that it might have the teeth on a roller that sort of pulls food into his mouth and people got the fingers caught in it and hair caught in it. I'm going to go for the first one.
Correct, well done. Saved yourself at the end there.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, congratulations. How did you find that?
Oh, well, I just turned up and looked at the laptop and you were there speaking in front of me. No, yeah, it was very good. Thank you very much, Jimbo.
No worries. I'm going to play an ad now for sure, which I don't think you'll be able to hear, but anyway, our listeners will.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you've started playing it yet or not, but I'm going to just sort of smile at certain occasions so anyone watching the video will sort of just think that I'm really enjoying what the advert says on it. So,
introducing Tory Ball, an exciting new national lottery game brought to you by the Tory government. A game that you have every chance of winning, providing you don't live in a shit postcode. Our draw is not done fairly at random, but instead by an advanced algorithm, which will select worthy winners based on how much of an affluent postcode you have, if you're likely to have received state benefits or not, how many cars you've got, if you catch public transport, if your children go to private schools, get free school meals, and how much we might like you as a member of the tax-paying public. Basically, if you're an average working class person and you can't get a house for under 300k in your area, then you've got absolutely no chance of success in this game. We call it Tory Ball. Play online or buy your tickets at your local Waitrose. You have absolutely no idea what you were laughing at there. Could have been something terrible. It could have been like a. How do you know that I'd not done a serious advert and thrown something in there about like collecting money for, starving Africans or something?
Good point, actually. Because
or any charity.
I know you'd never do anything that serious or that heartfelt. So I'm just trying to do.
Well, on the one occasion you can't hear, you've made yourself look like I'm only joking.
We'll see. Fantastic advert, that, Jimbo.
You can listen to it later.
I'll listen to it later on. What do you think to my acting partway through that, by the way?
Yeah, it weren't bad. You seem to come in at the right sort of points as well, which was pretty good. On to the news then, Fisher. So are we going to talk about the A-level thing first of all? Have we got much else to say about that, other than what a mess?
Do you not mean sea levels, Jimbo? Yeah, sorry, I tried that earlier on, didn't I? Yeah, what a mess, really. What a complete and utter mess.
Mm.
I've not really got a huge amount more to say about it, really. I mean, they've had, 3-4 months to work out sort of a way to grade the exams.
And they made all the teachers do the work in the first place, didn't they, of preparing to give them estimated grades. So teachers obviously spent a lot of time trying to make sure they were getting them right and they were giving, the right opportunities and looking at the work, and then they decided to, sort of quite late on, didn't they, go with this algorithm system, and then, well, there you go.
Well, I dare say when I initially heard the news, I mean, the idea that I might have taken exams, I might have taken my A-levels and, well, rather not taken my A-levels and still been given one less grade than I was predicted by the teachers without having to do all the revision work, I might have actually come back and said, yes, I'm fine with that, I'll take that, thank you very much. But when you think about it, I mean, you remember on A-level results day, there was probably, for every 4 or 5 people that you knew, there would be 4, say for example you knew 5 people, which I know the idea of you having that many friends, Jimbo, is quite a implausible thing. But if you knew 5 people, 4 of those probably would be quite pleased with the results, and 1 of them would be quite upset they'd not quite got what they wanted. That's just sort of the way it is. Some people, they have bad days, or exams don't quite go according to plan, they don't quite get their grades. And that happens, that's part of it. But those people have earned the right through their poor performance to have bad days. They shouldn't just be chosen by the government at random that they're the ones who are going to get docked points and not quite get what they could have feasibly got. It's my sort of slight point on that. And it means that as a result of that A-level results now are higher than they've ever been. But that's the way it is. I mean, people have kind of actually got the good out of the situation. And bear in mind, it's been quite a terrible situation for these kids who actually probably would have been prepared to put the work in and done what they can and got the grades they wanted to kind of further life and go to university and try and be aspirational and kind of further themselves in life, which is what people should really try and do. Instead, what we got was just sort of a random number generator that decided to penalise like the odd person here and there just because it felt like it.
Yeah. With
no actual rhyme or reason to it, which is completely and utterly beyond belief. It just very much looks purely to bring the negatives into the situation.
And it's all the stuff about where the private schools didn't have to suffer the same, did they, because of the way things worked. It kind of again made the most disadvantaged people even more disadvantaged, didn't it? But if we think about, I read about this Gavin Williamson a little bit. He's a bit of a character, isn't he?
Is he?
Well,
is he a Tory MP in his 50s? If so, I might have done a quiz about him last week.
No, I don't think he's as old as 50, but he's the one that was sacked by Theresa May, I think, for leaking documents in his role as Defence Secretary. He leaked documents, didn't he?
He allegedly did. Was this to do with Huawei?
Yeah.
And the 5G? Yeah.
He allegedly did, yeah. I don't think it would, but I think the word from the Prime Minister is that she's seen enough solid evidence to say that was the case. But then he's kind of been reinstated back to a top job, and it's not just him, but there's a lot of MPs who seem to be able to do what they want, act outside of what they should, how they should act, and sometimes the law in some cases, and kind of be able to carry on as normal or come out of it better.
Absolutely. Well, apparently Theresa May went up to Gavin Williamson and said, I've got some solid evidence that you are the culprit for this, and therefore I am thinking about sacking you from your position as Defence Secretary. And he said, I'm sorry, that's not good enough, I'm just going to give you a fail. It's kind of baffling, really. They've had so long to think about it, and they've messed it up so badly. I mean, really, really badly. Imagine what it must feel like for these students who've worked hard for a number of years. They want to have that chance and opportunity to further themselves, and they're not given it.
It's the same thing though with a lot of the different things throughout all of the last however many months, this last sort of 4 or 5 months or so. Everything's just been done so badly, hasn't it? Like the track and trace stuff, which has been ridiculous. They've not been able to just sort it out, have they? I mean, I know none of these things can be easy to do, but they always seem to be going back to where they started all the time. And then, if you saw the other day, is it the health, the sort of health department is being closed down,
Public Health England combined into something else, yeah. And the person who's heading it up is called Dido
Harding, is it?
Harding, yeah. Which, to be fair, might be quite a good name for the quiz that I've got coming later on. But she's the wife of a Tory MP, I believe.
Yeah.
To be fair to her, I mean, she is one of the very few females who's been chief executive of a FTSE 100 company, or sort of a really well-known listed company in the city. And that shouldn't be taken away from her. But at the same time, I think she was chief executive of Talk, and at the time when they had a massive data breach that led to them getting the biggest fine that ever been received from the Information Commissioner's office. So she's not all good.
And there's something to do with who the track and trace things went to as well, isn't there? Who things were commissioned to, and so on.
Wasn't she directly? I think she was directly responsible for the track and trace fiasco that hasn't really tracked or traced anyone.
And her husband is in charge of overseeing potential corruption in the party and stuff like that. Right. It's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got his own practical example. I suppose my understanding is the track and trace app the track and trace system we've got in place hasn't really done much, and its only real use was the fact that it managed to track an outbreak of coronavirus in the track and trace call centre. That someone had got it and passed it on to some colleagues, and they managed to quite quickly work out who'd been over there and who had to self-isolate. So
it's like everything, like the way that they seem to do things. It's very much like we'll get someone we know who's connected to us to do it for us. And a prime example, this just reminds me of it, but there's obviously these citizenship tests and so on. Now, and I don't. Again, this is all allegedly, but while Theresa May was in power, they these sort of citizenship test things that came in, and the way that people can get citizenship and so on, they put the things are supposed to go out to tender, aren't they? So companies can oversee it and run the contract and so on. Well, while Theresa May was in power, she decided to give that contract to somebody else without putting it out to tender, allegedly. And that company just so happens to be her husband's, or something her husband's involved in. Now, if you were a business who your job is to run these kind of contracts and so on, and that was your business, you'd be a bit annoyed, wouldn't it, if your government decided that they're just going to give it to, and it's public money, bearing in mind as well, they're just going to give it to whoever they want without it going to tender and stuff. Yeah.
Do you mean her husband, Philip May, who was recently made a lord by Boris Johnson? If you saw that story.
Yeah.
I think he was made a lord for his in recognition of the sort of political work they'd done, but he's never, to the best of my knowledge, he's never been in any way serving in politics other than being married to Theresa May.
I mean, surely he needs to be a lord just for that job alone, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
Having to put up with that dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he just bashes the radio when Dancing Queen comes on?
By ABBA. Oh, no, sorry, the government's got involved. No, they're not called ABBA anymore. They're called CDDC. Yes, I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, that's a very sad story, really, on that front. Should we talk about something a bit more upbeat that we're a bit more pleased about?
Yeah, so Simon Cowell broke his back doing a wheelie on a bike.
Yeah, it's really bad news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently he's for a number of years had a problem with his spine, which is how he's managed to be able to put his head up his own arse for so long. But yeah, he fell off a bike and broke his back by the sounds of it. And
not doing anything, interesting, just simply on a bike.
Yeah. Fortunately, Louis Walsh was on the scene straight away, and he came in and said, "You look like you've broken your back. You sing like you've broken your back.
You're through to the next round.
You're through to the next ward." Hopefully helps us stitch him back together. But obviously, Louis Walsh could potentially be. Well, actually, getting back to the next story we've got, Jeremy Clarkson, and we'll skip back to a previous story we had. Jeremy Clarkson, do you know what he does on A-level results day?
Every year.
Go
on. He does. He got. Yeah, he said, "I didn't get this and that, blah 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 blah."
He said, "I got a C and 2 U's, and I'm currently sat on a boat in Saint-Tropez, or I'm sat on the top of the Shard having a 4-course lunch, or I'm sat in my new house that looks over the Cotswolds, or I'm about to jump into my new Ferrari, or whatever he says. I mean, obviously, Jeremy Clarkson, you think of Jeremy Clarkson, you don't just think C-U-U, you definitely think C-U, then a couple of other letters. But he's been tipped, potentially, to be going on I'm a Story, Get Me Out of Here.
Really?
Apparently so.
Is he having to sink that low? I wouldn't have thought Jeremy Clarkson had put himself forward for something like that.
Well, this year it's not in Australia, is it?
Oh, right, of course.
It's in the UK. I think, is it going to be in a castle in Scotland by the sounds of it, or Wales?
Right. So they're going to be eating like sheep's testicles and stuff like that this time.
I don't know, actually. Yeah, offal. Haggis. Every time. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to find different things for them to eat.
What they're going to
deep fried Mars bars.
What are they going to call the Bush Tucker trials?
No, apparently they're not having them. They're not going to have them in exactly in the same guise. I'm sure they'll be able to do certain things, but it'll probably not be quite as vulgar as some of the ones they've got. They'll not have to eat sort of, kangaroo's penis. Just have to eat, I don't know, what wild animal, might have to be cow and bull penis instead of all that sort of stuff. UK animals.
Or shut in a small enclosed space with like 5 Scottish blokes or something like that.
Yeah. Have some kind of drinking competition against them, maybe. Who knows? So yeah, that's going to move to Scotland. I'm not sure if you've got anything more to say on that at all or not.
Not particularly, no. I don't think I'll be watching it.
All right, okay. Well, never mind. That's one off the viewing figures. Do you normally watch it?
No.
Oh, why do you even put it on the sheet to talk about them?
Because I thought you might be interested, because you like watching junk like that.
Well, yeah, it's quite funny to watch some of it, isn't it?
Mm.
And the big talking point moments. I mean, it's worth watching it just that time when Gillian McKeith collapsed live on air. Can you remember that?
I remember it briefly.
Yeah. Worth it just for those sort of moments. But never mind. Should we talk about the government consulting on hands-free technology?
Yes, which is a bit worrying, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
Bearing in mind how well they've done with the old track and trace system, and then the A-levels, they're now going to be consulting on hands-free driving technology, which obviously for our government to do that, of course, it's a car crash waiting to happen, isn't it?
Hey,
there we go. And of course, just imagine the U-turns. But is it sensible?
Should we not do a joke about them saying that the algorithm has got in touch and said it's no longer a U-turn, it's a F-turn or something like that? That, yeah.
We'll throw that one in there anyway. But yeah, it did worry me slightly, because it's we really don't want them getting involved in things like that. Not after this fiasco.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes, see how it develops. But yeah, I'm not overly impressed on it. Bear in mind we had the sound issues we had at the start of this episode, and we've had to start recording sort of about an hour late. What if you're driving in your car and it has some kind of problem? Do you have to switch your car off and switch it back on while you're doing sort of 70 miles an hour down the motorway?
Well, that's
How's that
it.
Gonna work? What if someone hacks into it?
Well, the idea is there's different steps of what sort of hands-free driving is. So there's, the sort of the step 3 one, or whatever they call it, is where you can practically sit there answering emails and stuff while your car's moving, and then it will alert you when you need to take hold of the wheel and do some driving.
Well, there we go. So should we move on to? We've talked about the A-levels crisis, talked about hands-free technology. We're not meant to be talking about that, though, are we? Do you know what we're meant to be talking about?
Go on.
The migrant crisis.
Of course.
People coming over in their boats. Well, not their boats. Immigrants coming over. Mm-hmm. Sometimes as many as about 15 at a time in the boat.
Yeah.
The government would much rather we talked about that instead.
Yeah, of course.
As opposed to focus and shine the spotlight on sort of things that are actually happening that are maybe a bit more relevant to the fact that we've allowed certain members of people to die in our community because we've not given them appropriate PPE and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if people,
I don't know why the government. I don't know why they want us to draw attention to it, because don't forget what people voted for. They didn't want this to be happening, and it's still happening.
Yeah,
that's what people voted for, apparently.
Well, thank God we've taken control of our borders again.
Exactly, yeah.
Just to let more migrants across than has ever been happening. Obviously, what I don't know is if you are a migrant and you come over in France on a boat for 14 days. Presumably, once you get here, that you don't have to self-isolate for 14 days, don't you? And that guarantees that you stay in the country for 14 days because you got to follow the guidance from the government. You can't just deport you. That's not fair.
Is that how it generally works then? If you're an illegal immigrant, is that how it works? You've got to stay so long before you can be. Is that I'm not.
I've got no idea. In all honesty, I don't. I would say that I don't know enough about this particular issue. Oh, sorry, hang on. Yeah, Jimbo, I've just been made Home Secretary. So yeah, I don't know enough about this issue. But Home Secretary Priti Patel had a bit of a ding-dong with Ben & Jerry's, if you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
The ice cream manufacturer.
Got a bit frosty, didn't it?
It got a bit frosty. Ben & Jerry's tweeted to say...
Is this a scoop you've got for us? Sorry, I'll stop now.
Very good. Well done. Yeah, because I need to get my joke in, to be fair. Ben & Jerry's had tweeted to say there's nothing illegal about people being people and wanting a better life. One of Priti Patel's closest allies tweeted to say that Ben & Jerry's is just a load of overpriced ice cream. What it should focus on is doing better ice cream that's better value and not the rubbish that they sell. Although really, if Priti Patel was looking for an ally who sells ice creams, who's got a really tough stance on immigration, then maybe she should have chosen Walls.
Very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Anything else to add to
that? No. Well, I could do the one about cart door bolted firmly shut.
Very good.
I didn't. Should we talk about Tim Martin, owner of Wetherspoons?
We
know where it was this week?
Yeah. Apparently, you sent me a picture without any sort of message to go with it of two blokes stood in the pub round the corner. I had no idea who they were. And then I didn't get a message till a bit later to explain who it was. But you're saying he was in our very own local Wetherspoons.
Yeah, not a place I go in very often, to be fair, because I take a moral stance against the Wetherspoons pub, so I tend not to go in that much. How about yourself, Jimbo?
Let's not talk about it. It's one okay. You can get cheap breakfast. Now, if the commercial opened for breakfast, I'd be down there in a flash. Tell them that.
So, it was in the Wetherspoons, basically.
Yeah.
Had a picture taken with a few people. It was in Sheffield Tuesday, I think it was. Went to Wetherspoons in Chapeltown. He was spotted also on Division Street in Sheffield City Centre. And apparently his net worth, he's a chairman and founder of Wetherspoons, net worth about £500 million. And in spite of having all that money, he still has to go into Wetherspoons. Do you not think he could go into a better place? But then at the same time, is the fact that he eats in Wetherspoons all the time the reason he's got so much money left?
Well, he's got...
They're cheap beers and burgers.
His daughter does pretty well as well, though, doesn't she? So, you know, they don't need the money because his daughter's a Hollywood actress, isn't she? So...
Is she?
Is she?
I don't know.
Am I getting something confused?
Possibly. Is there a joke coming here about who she is?
No. Not related to Reese Witherspoon.
Hey.
Anyway, you didn't follow on with that one, did you?
No. I mean, I was thinking more because it's still named Martin, isn't it? So.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not called Wetherspoon.
No.
Do you know where Wetherspoon was?
No.
I think it was one of his former teachers.
Oh. Why did he call it that? Because his teacher used to go off to the pub?
I don't know.
Pissed?
It was just a memorable name, J.D. Wetherspoon, for one of his teachers, and therefore he called his pubs after him, I believe.
Good fact for you there.
Talking about other bad boys, though, with strange haircuts, Donald Trump. I'm not sure if you're going to...
I've already played it, but you can't hear it, can you?
Noise that I can't hear. He did an interview where he was talking about... He talks a lot about the mainstream media and printing rubbish.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot about the freedom of press and the way in which he tries to strangle them. He did an interview with someone from HBO, I think. And the person from HBO... He brought out some graphs. He just brought out some pieces of paper with some lines on them, and Trump had got no idea what he was holding up. But he said that it was talking about the percentage of deaths as a proportion of people who got coronavirus. And the interviewer said, "Well, no. What I'm talking about is, and to be fair to America, they do a lot of testing. They test a lot more people, and as a result, they've had a lot more cases. Now, a good way to get no confirmed case of coronavirus is to not test anyone." But if you test a lot of people, then you're going to end up with more cases, presumably, assuming that all things being equal and what have you. And he said, I don't want to talk about deaths as a proportion of confirmed case. I want to talk about deaths as a proportion of population. And we're kind of really, really heavy and really high up. You know what Trump said? He said, you can't do that. You can't do that. You've got to do it this way. So he talks about people being controlled and sort of being force-fed rubbish by the media, and yet he's specifically saying, you can't do that. You've got to look at my numbers and my figures. Although the best point of that interview, well, there are two really good points. One of which is he got a graph. There was just a load of blocks on it, and he said, look, we're last, which means we're first. And then he also said, look, we're doing better than the world. Which I thought was quite a bold claim from Trump. Did you see as well that he wanted to change the shower heads in America because he wasn't happy at his ability to wash his hair? Just his hair? Just his hair, yeah. We're struggling to get it washed properly, so he thinks that the shower head should be allowed to let more water through. There we go. Well, anyway,
basically just have a big tap.
Yeah, well, apparently, I'm assuming there's some kind of restrictions in America that the amount of water you can let through from one place can only be a certain amount to try and reduce the amount of water that gets wasted effectively.
Yeah.
There's kind of controls in it. But there we go. I've got one final news story anyway.
Yeah.
Which made me laugh when I was talking about it. Obviously, we have our beer. We have our Lancaster Bomber, or in your case, I can't remember what it was called. But
Banyan.
Yeah. A Canadian brewer apologised for unwittingly naming one of its beers after a Maori word that commonly meant pubic hair.
What was the word?
The word was Haruru, I think. It was called the Haruru Pale Ale, and the brewers from Alberta in Canada, Hell's Basement Brewery, they thought it meant feather.
Oh.
But someone actually pointed out that it meant pubic hair.
Oh, you know what? I think I've tried it. I think, because I have quite a lot of different, beers and stuff like that. But I've tried this beer that apparently is named after something that means pubic hair. And I tell you what, it puts hairs on your chest.
Hey. Are you...
Sorry, Fisher, I didn't know you finished.
I hadn't.
Go on then.
Yeah. I mean, they would have apologised, but unfortunately, they got them by the short and curlies.
Hey! Anyway, enough about... let's stop talking now about private parts and pubic hair and stuff like that. What have you got for us, Fisher?
Well, we talked on the last episode, didn't we, about someone called Dick, I think.
Oh, so we're going to talk about dicks and cocks now.
Yeah, so there was a dispute as to whether someone had been called a dick or a cock. And I thought I'd do a bit of a quiz about people who've been called dicks, cocks, knobs, and all that sort of stuff. I've got 10 questions for you. First up, who did England cricketer Matthew Hoggard call a knob after their 2005 Ashes triumph? Was it Tony Blair or Prince Charles?
Ooh. So it would have been it definitely would have been in Blair era, wouldn't it? Of course it would.
Yes, yeah. And Prince Charles era as well. Prince Charles still alive back in those days. In his pre-sausage finger days.
See, I don't think, Charles is... He doesn't tend to upset too many people, I don't think. Not compared to his dad. So...
Well, hang on. I mean, you can't use that as a yardstick, can you? It's got to be fair.
Or his brother.
Yeah. It's a bit like saying a doctor doesn't kill as many people as Harold Shipman. I mean, it doesn't make it right, does it?
So I'm going to go with Tony Blair, I think. And I'm not sure why, but I'm sure Tony Blair would have sent a message of well done or something, and potentially maybe Tony Blair not interested in cricket. I'm not sure.
Just to be clear, this was to his face.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know if that changes your opinion.
Tell me a little bit about Andrew Hogg. Is it Andrew? What did you say?
Matthew Hoggard.
Matthew Hoggard.
On this particular incident, it was a cricket player who, after the Ashes triumph, they went on a massive drinking session that involved kind of an open-top bus tour and stuff, because it was the first time we won the Ashes in sort of 18 years or whatever it was.
Who did he play for?
It was from
domestically, Yorkshire. Okay.
Yeah. And he was alongside this person, having drunk quite a lot of stuff. There's some photographers there, and one of these people said, "I wonder what they want." And Matthew Hoggard looked at the relevant person and said, "I think it'll be a photo, you knob."
Right, I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick with Tony. I'm going to stick with Tony Blair.
You'd be right. Well done.
Be off with his head, wouldn't it, if it were Charles?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Or do they not do that these days?
Not these days, no. It's different Charles. I think, isn't that why Prince Charles doesn't want to be called King Charles?
Ah, yeah. Is that true? He's going to take a different name.
I believe so, yeah. Anyway, next up. Germany's public body to prevent the spread of disease is called what? Is it the Dick Fuller Institute or the Robert Koch Institute?
I'm going to say A again, because I think that sounds more like a German-type name.
Dick
Not to
Fuller
be
Institute.
stereotypical, but I think it sounds like it could... Yeah. Whereas I think the other name... Did you say what did you say? Was it Robert Koch?
Robert Koch Institute.
It sounds a bit more British, that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So is it a German dick or a British cock?
Or it could be spelled C-O-C-H or something rather than C-O-C-K. Let's go with the first one.
You'd be wrong. It's the Robert Koch Institute. And I believe this public body that we're setting up is going to be quite similar to the Robert Koch Institute, but obviously with a slightly less amusing name, as far as I'm aware. So
Okay.
There we go. So we're going to move now to Vindication Island, which is one of the South Sandwich Islands. What is the name of the most southwesterly point on Vindication Island? Is it Dick's Creek or is it Knob Point?
I'm going to go Dick Creek, I think.
Dick's Creek and not Knob Point.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimbo, you're wrong. In fact, vindication for me, really, with me setting a question that you couldn't get there. Yeah, apparently the most southwesterly point on that particular island. Apparently there are loads of places called something Knob or Knob something. I think Knob just means sort of a small bit of land or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's various hills, some place in Wales called Knob Hill or whatever. That sort of stuff. Well worth having a look at if you've got a free 10 minutes and want to have a giggle at certain things that are quite immature. Highly recommended.
I'll be careful what I type into Google.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I was trying to find famous people who've been called knobs, if you just type in celebrity cocks, then don't ever do that again in Google. So next up, who was the head of the World Anti-Doping Agency in the 2000s? Was it Dick Tumble or Dick Pound? And he was the head of the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. So they're quite heavily involved in sort of investigating things involved in cycling and athletics and all that sort of stuff, and anti-doping things.
It can't be Dick Pound. Or can it? I'm going to say Dick Tumble.
Jimbo, it was Dick Pound. Yeah, I saw him on the news a few times, obviously been interviewed by the BBC and all that sort of stuff, and it just came up Dick Pound, and he thought, that's an amusing name if I've ever seen one, isn't it? So, there we go. Next up, in a game of cricket involving South Africa in 2015, what happened which led to an amusing picture being taken containing South African wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock? Did he stand next to West Indian batsman Dinesh Ramdin, at which point the names on the back of their shirts read De Kock rammed in? Or did he stand next to English batsman David Willey, at which point the names on the back of his shirt read De Kock Willie?
Did he saying that this was done on purpose?
Oh no, I think it just purely by coincidence happened that the two players were effectively stood next to each other. He's a wicket-keeper, so he stands quite near where the batsman are.
I'm going to go with the first one because it's funnier.
De Kock rammed in.
Yes.
Well done, you'd be correct. Next up, who was the first controller of BBC television? Was it Nobby Smith or Gerald Cock?
I think I've heard of this one before, actually, because I did media studies, so I think I looked at the early things of the BBC. So I seem to think that Gerald Cock, did you say?
Gerald Cock. Yeah.
It rings a bell. And anyway, sorry about that. So let's go with that one. And I probably look stupid now because saying that I think I know, but it's still a total guess. But that one seems to ring. He does. I think I've heard it before.
You think you've seen this before, yeah? Well, that is quite impressive because yes, you are correct. So on to another Nobby. So how did Nobby Styles lose his teeth? Is it in a fight, or was he accidentally hit in the face with a tennis racket as a teenager?
Ooh.
Nobby Styles, a dynamic midfielder, only quite short, bowling, terrible eyesight, false teeth. Used to get himself stuck in. A bit like yourself in terms of his footballing.
Right, okay.
Old Hasten stuff. Not saying that you've got false teeth.
He wasn't a great podcaster.
Wasn't a great pocket, bit before his time, but he certainly tackled anything that moved, I believe.
Right.
And I think he took his false teeth out before he started playing football at the start of every game.
Let's go with the one that you'd least expect then. You'd expect that maybe he would have got into a bit of a scuffle and had him knocked out in a more, a manly way rather than have a tennis racket through his gob. So let's say that one.
You say through his gob then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are wrong. It was in a fight.
I've been in many incidents when I used to play like rounders or like sort of quick cricket things, whatever you used to call it, down the field where I used to live when I was growing up, where we obviously only had one bat, so after you'd had a go at having a bat, you would throw the bat behind you. You're supposed to put the bat down gently behind you, but on many occasions, not just myself, but other people as well, would get bats and so on to the head quite often, and that quite hurt quite a lot. So I could have seen the tennis racket thing happening.
If you're in a rush, you want to discard the bat as fast as you can. But yeah, that's not what happened. It was in a fight apparently. But there we go. So who was the pitcher for the Boston Red Sox during the mid-70s? Was it Dick Pole or Dick Hardy?
Ooh.
Now it's worth pointing out that there are some photos of this person that alleged he played for the Portland Beavers. But there is I can't see any documentary evidence to suggest that.
Let's go with Dick Hardy.
Dick Pole or Dick Hardy?
Dick Hardy.
Oh, you're wrong. It's Dick Pole. So yeah, apparently quite a popular baseball player, played for the Boston Red Sox and someone else in the NBA. Is it called NBL? Can't remember now. Major Baseball League, Major Baseball Association. Can't quite remember which. So only two questions left. What did former US Vice President Dick Cheney, who presumably was Vice President number 46, after your comment about Al Gore being number 45? Not that we independently verified that, but strange that we've mentioned both Vice Presidents. Consecutive Vice Presidents, probably the first time ever we've done that on the podcast. So what did former US Vice President... Yeah, well done. Round of applause. Well, unfortunately, I don't know whether the round of applause is finished because I can't hear it, Jimbo, so we have to kind of carry on. So what did former US Vice President Dick Cheney do to a Texas attorney, Harry Whittington, in February 2006? And this is while he was Vice President. Did he out him as a leader of the Ku Klux Klan? Much to his dismay, as he was a judge who had recently sentenced two active members of the Klan to lengthy prison sentences. One of the Klan members was heavily praised, because obviously he thought that the judge was a member of the Klan and one of the members of the Klan was the judge. So, or did he accidentally shoot Harry Whittington on about 30 times while he was out hunting?
30 times? And he survived?
I believe so, yes. I think if he had have died, I would have put that he killed him by shooting him.
30 times is a lot to be shot, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit different when you're out hunting. It's not like with the submachine guns, is it? You've presumably got pellets or whatever.
Oh, fair enough. Strong. Okay, let's go then with the first one.
That you got confused as a leader of the Ku Klux Klan?
Yeah.
You'd be wrong. You shot him. And they have to pick out about 30 bullets from 30 air pellets or whatever it was, including one that I think was stuck in his heart as well. So
right, so it could have been dangerous.
I think he was shooting quietly. He sort of heard something move, turned round, and basically shot this fella who was a judge. I mean, I dare say that someone who's a solicitor who gets shot necessarily isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's probably not the wisest thing to do. Have all the people you could shoot. Yeah, I'll shoot a qualified attorney. Yeah. What could go wrong there? And anyway, your final question.
Yep.
Who was a major in the 3rd Battalion during the 2000s? So 3rd Battalion of the UK Army. Was it Dickie Head or Dickie Tickle? And this person was a major, so his full title was either Major Dickie Head or Major Dickie Tickle. And he appeared on numerous occasions on the BBC News with a caption underneath that said either Major Dickie Head or Major Dickie Tickle.
I'm guessing he sounds like a really, really bad kids' TV character. An inappropriate one, of course. The BBC's had none of them. So let's go with the one that's the funniest. And I hope it's Dickie Tickle.
Oh, Jimbo, it's Dickie Head.
Oh.
It was called Dickie Head. Major Dickie Head.
Still good, though.
Yeah. I mean, surely you just want to call yourself Richard.
Yeah.
Don't you? In those circumstances. Well, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that quiz about dicks, cocks and knobs.
I did. Thank you very much.
So, and fingers crossed, shortly do you know how to delete your Google search history, by the way, Jimbo?
We'll discuss it shortly, shall we?
Yeah, no problem. Let's carry on.
Remind me, I must delete mine as well. Anyway, so thank you very much for shift today. Sorry about the technical issues. Sorry that you've not yet eaten. But we have, as you can see, probably finished our podcast about 10 minutes earlier than we normally would. So that's good news. You've got 10 minutes extra. What are you going to have for your tea?
Thank you very much. Nothing. Not too bothered about anything tonight. It's that late, I'm probably just going to go to bed, Jimbo. I'm not too sure. What we're having tonight. We can't go out. I'm not going out and paying full price. It's a Thursday.
This is it. People are going to begrudge going out at all now after a Wednesday, aren't they?
Yeah, not the same at all. So, yeah, it's a good podcast, thoroughly enjoyable. I didn't hear all of it. I didn't hear some of the sound effects, so it'll be a bit different for me when I listen to it later on.
And we failed to go live this week as well, but never mind.
Yeah, but to be fair, it just means that extra 10 minutes that we've saved in terms of not doing the episode means that you're going to waste it in terms of trying to extract this video and trying to get everything sorted and all that sort of stuff that we normally have to do when you do it this way.
So you complain about not having your tea, but by the time I've finished doing this episode, I'll be eating my breakfast.
But yeah, but you don't actually have to physically do the work. Just press extract and wait for it to run.
It's not as simple as that. Not as simple as that.
Okay. Well, there we go.
There's fine-tuning everything, you know. I'm just going to throw loads of technical words at you that you don't understand.
I don't know what fine-tuning means. I'm not that stupid.
I meant other words.
Okay. Well, there we go. So anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you next week or the week after, whenever it's going to be, for episode 74. I think we're sort of back to doing it every fortnight now, like we did previously.
And if you want to get in touch, you can tweet us at wastedwebspace.co.uk. Facebook, same, wastedwebspace. Wastedwebspace.co.uk is our website. Loads of places you can go in there. Yeah,
or you can see us. I mean, go to any restaurant in the West Yorkshire area between Monday and Wednesday next week. There's a high chance I might be in there if it's out towards the Holmfirth area. Jimbo might be out, but he's refusing to tell you where he does or doesn't go, so we don't know.
And that's not because it's Wetherspoons.
Yeah, so you might find him in a Wetherspoons early in the morning, but you might claim it's not him.
Stop saying that. Right, See you later.
Right, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.